Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ordinary here, and I'm bringing you guys episode 6 as the GM of Team Japan. And last episode we got up to the trade deadline of year 2. We are currently in the playoffs. If we go over to here, standings, there we are. You can see Japan in 3rd place in the Pacific with 65 points, which is actually not even enough for the wild card spot. We're actually 10th in the West, but thanks to our division being so shitty, we are in the playoff race right now. I put it to you guys in the comments to let me know if you wanted us to make this playoff push or keep going with this rebuild that we got going. And it seems like we want to keep going with the rebuild here. I kind of agree with that. I mean, we've only had one draft to get prospects from. We started with absolutely nothing, so chances of us winning the cup this year are pretty slim. So we might as well use this as another year to stock the cupboards a little bit. And who knows, we could still squeak in like 8th seed. We could still beat San Jose if they sell here at the deadline as well. So you never know what could happen, especially with the division so shitty. So let's head into the trade deadline. Last episode we took a look at what trading chips we have, as well as who we might be able to get off of other teams. So just as a quick little reminder, I'll put the players in that I don't really have a problem with trading. I'd rather not trade White, but I will if I gotta. Where's Stepniak? There he is. Doesn't have much trade value, eh? So we're gonna take White out for now and put in Regier just because I'd rather trade him. So these are our 5 big trading chips. We can pretty much get anyone with these players. The teams that were willing to give up some actual good talent were St. Louis. Dmitry Yaskin, I think is how you pronounce that. He's a 70 overall right wing sniper, and they want to give him up. So we can put him in there. So that'll probably take Nielsen and Glenn Cross to get 2 of our bigger name guys. We might be able to pull their first as well. Oh, they don't have one. I wouldn't want to just straight up trade. I'd like to get a pick in as well. But if they have another decent prospect with not much trade value, I wouldn't mind adding that. Ian Cole, it's already 26, so I'd rather not. Nordstrom, 23, but he's only 3.5 stars. Okay, we'll take a look at some of the other teams first. It wasn't San Jose, it was Pittsburgh, right? Pouliot and Harrington. These are 2 guys that I'm not sure about. But they do have a first, so we'll see if we can't put together... Ooh, they have a goalie prospect too. We have a good enough goalie prospect. So right there, that's probably... Pouliot would probably go through for Nielsen, and then we could use someone like Stepniak to get there first. So we could do like a Glenn Cross and Stepniak for these 2. That would probably go through. What about this Harrington guy? He's less trade value, but he's higher along development. They're the same age. He's only 4 gold stars, that's why. He's a defenseman. We only really need 1 defenseman if we're going to make this trade. I'm just worried about how long it's going to take Pouliot to get better. Anyways, before we even think about making this trade, let's just know that it exists. That's something we can do. Max Domi, former Phoenix Coyotes prospect, which I said we can get now because we would have to give up something to get him. Although he's hit and miss in this game, so I'm not crazy about him. He is 74 at 20 years old though, so that's pretty good. But he is only 4 stars, so we can see what else is out there. Rangers have Duclair and McInnes, both forward prospects. Nothing too crazy though. Canadians A couple defensemen, Mayhew and Thrower. Mahu was a 4 green, isn't he? 3.5 green only. There's better out there. LA, no. There's one more team. Detroit? Detroit has Mantha and Yurko, which I'd rather skip on. I feel like there's one more team. Could be totally wrong, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like I was right about there being one more team. But that doesn't mean we can't pick up someone from a team that doesn't want to give them up. Let's see what team has first overalls that we can grab, aside from Pittsburgh. We might want to make a trade for a really good first overall, because that could net us McDavid. Someone like San Jose, although we know they're not going to come in last in the league. It's going to be one of the teams in our division like fucking Calgary or Edmonton. Look at that. Oh, Edmonton's the team leading. Anaheim's doing bad, right? Yeah, and they want to get rid of it. That's a lot of trade value, though. That's a lot of trade value. We're not going to be able to pull that, even with all these. We could go boom and just grab that, but there's no point. Winnipeg. Vancouver, I know, is doing poorly. I'm not going to be able to grab that. Huh. I'd rather not grab a team from the Central because we know they're going to do well. So let's just take a look. Detroit has a first, and they don't really have a very good record, obviously, if their first has that much trade value. Who else? Chicago, but they're in the Central, so I'd rather not take it. Buffalo has 2, so we can load up on the first from Buffalo and see what kind of prospects they have. So they've got Grigorenko, Myers, Bailey, Hodgson, Gergensons, Ristolainen. They got a lot of prospects for us to choose from if we choose to make one of these trades. As far as overalls go, Hodgson is 85, so he's nearing completion for his progression. Same with Myers, he's 87. So that would be a good pickup. To match kind of the overalls of everyone we've got, it would make more sense to pick up someone like Gergensons or Grigorenko. Somewhere in the low to mid 70s, Ristolainen as well. And the 3 green stars always works out pretty nicely, so I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing one of these 3 players. Or did I say 3? I meant to say 4. Looks like Gergensons has less value than Bailey, even though he's higher along. It might be the 2 years difference. What kind of player is he? 2-way forward. Whereas Bailey is also a 2-way forward. Okay, so I don't have a preference. Grigorenko is how old? 20. He's 4.5 gold stars, and he's a sniper. Now, I know usually it's either Grigorenko or Gergensons. I mix them up. But I know one of them really never ever progresses. So I'm a little bit hesitant to pick between the 2 of them. It could be... We have Sam Reinhart, right? So I kind of don't need another really good center prospect. I'm going to just take a look at his player type. It's playmaker. So we don't need another playmaking first-line center. What we would want is a 2-way forward center who could be a second-line center for us in the future. Or a defensive prospect like Thomas, although he is just 3.5 green stars. Hodgson, if we take him now, he's a playmaker, never mind. You know what? I'm actually pretty happy with Gergensons or Grigorenko. I guess we'll take Gergensons just because he's basically the same overall right now, but he has the better stars. So we'll see if we can't make this go through. These 3, 4. So we'll leave Bennett in as well as Nielsen because those are some green names. Good chance that that helps it go through. We'll take off Glencross and we'll take off Regier and hope that this is enough to make it go through. It's looking like it'll take both of these to get Gergensons, and then we'll Stempniak. No, okay, there's no way this trade goes through right now. Stempniak probably won't even get that first from Buffalo. And then to get St. Louis's first, we'd have to put on Ian White, I bet. Even though I don't want to trade him, but he is a green name, so he'd definitely help this trade go through. We'll put him in there as well. We're going to have to take something back now. We'll go all skaters, see what has low value. But still might be something we want to pick up. How about a McCabe? How old is McCabe, Larson, and Catanacci down here? How old are these guys? 19, 21, 22, and 21. He's 74 at 22, and they've pretty much given up on him already. He's a centerman, so I don't really want to pick him up. What else we got? Delorier, he's 3.5 gold stars at 24. Yeah, let's try to add this guy to the trade. Looks like we have to pick up one more player as well. I will take that other centerman then, McCabe. Or no, it was Larson, that's right. So why won't this go through? What happens if I take off Stempniak? Will it go through? Yeah, so they have a full roster. We might have to add some unsigned talent just to add some sort of value to this trade. LaPlante. Okay, so I'm not confident with this trade just because there's a lot of white names over there, but it would be Nielsen and Bennett. That'll net us Gergensons. Then it's White to try to get both of these picks. And then Halverson and LaPlante to try to offset the 2 white names we have to add. We'll see what happens. Let's go. Yeah, okay, it worked. So we got those 2 first as well as Gergensons. So I'm happy with that trade. Put the rest of our assets on. I'm okay with getting rid of Whitney. I'm okay with getting rid of Broussard too, just because he shit the bed, but I mean, he has no value. He can be one of the guys we add in if there's not quite enough trade value there to make a trade. Perreault, like I said, I would like to keep him. Greiba, I'd like to keep. Goalies, I don't think we have anything worth value except for our 1 prospect goalie, right? Yeah. Okay, so no point there. We'll see if these names ever turn green. Detroit, LA, Montreal. Ooh, New York Rangers and Ottawa. Here we go. And I know they have some talent we might be able to pick up. What kind of player is McInnes? He is a power forward centerman. We have a lot of center prospects now. I wouldn't mind picking up Duclair for the wing as a 4-star prospect. The problem with these guys is they don't have a first, and I would definitely like to grab a first. We'll take a look at what Ottawa's got to offer. They have a first, so we could swap Glencross for the first. That'll go through just like that. Then we'll take a look at their prospects. I wouldn't mind grabbing a D prospect. That's not that really low value one we got from Buffalo there. CC I've had before. I'm not going to get him. I always grab him just because he has such low value, and he's got a good chance at becoming at least a solid player. Look, he's 82 overall, 21 years old, and he's got that low value. It's ridiculous. Carlson, we're not going to be able to afford. Cowan, probably not going to be able to afford. And he's a little bit out of our age group of what I'm looking for. And then the quality really takes a drop off there. I don't want to grab CC. I just feel cheap doing that. Okay, we'll see if any of these other teams. Philly wants 2 of them. They have a first. They do. So that would probably go through for Whitney. Now we have Glenn Cross. What can we net with Glenn Cross from these guys? Domi, Cousins. Like we said, I'm good with centers, so Domi maybe. Playmaking left winger. We have a playmaking center, so I would really like a sniper to play alongside of Sam Reinhart in the future. We'll see if they have anything like that. Wingers. Sort by potential. Domi, and then no one else. Wingers, they got Voracek, Simmons, this Straka fellow. Straka Flocka Flame. Voracek's out of the age range a little bit. Straka, playmaker. So yeah, nothing in Philly, I don't think. Pittsburgh wants 3 of these guys. We know they want to give up a defenseman or 2, and they have that first. So maybe we do come back to Pittsburgh and make a trade. Harrington or Pouliot? Harrington's further along, but he does have half of a star less. His trade value is less though, so we can. We're gonna take Harrington because Pouliot rarely turns out. I know he does sometimes, but we're gonna see if we can't grab a sniping winger. Probably not. They do not have offensive prospects at all. They got Bo Bennett. Sniper. Bo Bennett. He's less of a prospect and more of an NHL ready kind of guy, but if we put Stempniak and Glenn Cross together, that'll probably get us Bennett. Then Whitney would probably get us that first. So it's Harrington that would be Regier for Harrington, but they're not okay with making a trade right now. Bolesky I want to hold on to. We'll sort by trade value and see if there's any green names that I'm not putting him up. Brassard, okay. So we put Brassard up. We're going to need to take something back that just has nothing to it. Skater's given away. Let's see. McNeil. Weigel. Oh, we can't take those. They got a full roster as well here. Or not. What the hell? Salary cap issue or what? Yeah. We're not pulling enough salary back, so we're going to bone them on the cap. That's what it is. So I'm going to take off Regier right quick. Still not going to go through, really. How many of these guys only have like a year left? 4 years left on Glenn Cross. Stempniak is looking at 3 years left. Whitney, 3 years left. So I don't want to hold contract back on any of these guys. But if I do, I just want to see what will it take to make one of these go through. Okay, never mind, fuck it. So it was Glenn Cross, it was Stempniak, it was Whitney. What we're going to have to do is pull off McNeil here, unfortunately, and throw on someone with the salary. Take some salary back. That's the only way we're going to make this go through. Scuderi's got 2.8 with not too much trade value, so it could be him. That's going to go through 3 for 3. Now, if we add another player, will it work? I'm going to look at someone with no salary just to see. Yeah, so we can add another player before it was just a matter of salary. So adding a player like Regier, we're going to have to take back a bunch of salary, but as long as we can find a player whose value is quite a bit less with that much, like Orpik. That's a perfect example. Orpik has a very similar salary. The only problem is it's not similar enough. How long is Regier's contract? We didn't check him. 3. Are any of these guys going to retire? Who's the oldest one here? Regier? But he's only 34. Stempniak is also 34, isn't he? 32. Do I have any really old guys? No. Regier's the oldest. Okay, so let's hold some salary back on Regier, then. That's the only way we're going to make this go through, I think. Or No, it is. It is the only way. Unless there's a Scuderi, a version of Scuderi that just has a bit more salary. I could take Niskanen instead of Orpik. We'll try that. Niskanen instead of Orpik. And we'll put Scuderi back on. Now it will go through. How much salary would I have to hold to make it go through? Just 200K. I'm fine with that. So I'm hoping this will go through. Do we have any unsigned anything that they want? I'll go back to matching block here. Nope. So it's up to fate at this point. Let's see what it would look like. It would look like Glencross for Harrington, Stempniak, Whitney, and Regier for maybe just Regier and Whitney for Bennett. That first for Stempniak. And then, no, there's no way this goes through, you guys. I'm going to have to think of something different or add something to this trade. I don't want to get rid of Perreault, but I might have to if I want this trade to go through. Because we do have most of our high-value things already on the board here. Tricky. I'm really stoked on putting Bo Bennett there. He could play good with Sam Reinhart. Harrington, he can get better. First, we don't want to give up. We want to keep that. I'll give it a go. I'll put our third in just to maybe boost it, but we'll see what happens here. I don't think it'll go through, but we'll come back after. Yeah, we keep barking up the wrong tree. Shit. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So, Pittsburgh. There they are. Grab that first. Grab that Harrington. Grab that Bennett. Glencross. Do you guys think, I guess you can't really answer me right now, but do you think it would be better to put Regier in or Stempniak? Regier's got more value. He's also got more salary, and he's not a green name. So we'll see. Just like that, boom, that's already too much salary. And then Stempniak's going to add another 2.8. So what are we off by here? 1.379. So if I just pull back Scuderi this time, that should technically go through. I can hold a bit of salary here. I'm fine with that. 500K this time. So Glencross, I'm cutting corners here. What am I skipping? I'm skipping Niskanen as well as Whitney. So that's fine. Yeah, this might have a better chance of going through. Stempniak, he's going to get me that first. Glencross, he's going to get me Harrington. Regier's not going to be able to get me Bennett and Scuderi. There's no way. If we want this trade to go through, I definitely have to put something up that we don't want to get rid of, like a Hayden Fleury. Although then we're just swapping 4 gold star D for 4 gold star D. There's no point in doing that. These two guys are untouchable. Perreault's not untouchable, but if we're going to trade him, I'm going to use him in a different trade than this one. Greiba and Bolesky, like I said, they might still get better, so I'm kind of apprehensive about trading them away. Although they do have really friendly contracts. What's Greiba? 3 net. We'll put him in there. I'll hold more on Regier if I can. There we go. If I hold 1.2 on Regier, I can add Greiba to this trade, and it might actually go through. Harrington, I might be able to just swap Greiba for Harrington just like that, since their names are both red and green. So that leaves Bennett for Regier. Do you think Glencross and Stempniak might get Bennett? So then it's Regier for the first and Scuderi. I can see this actually working this time, so let's give this one a go. Yeah, there it goes. So that trade's done, and let's just take a look one more time. I'll put Bolesky in. I don't really want to trade him, or I mean Perreault, but he isn't getting any better, right? 84 is a dime a dozen if we're going to be honest with ourselves. So where's his trade value go to? Shit, didn't mean to do that. Meant to do this. His trade value goes to the middle of the D in trade. So if we're going to get a first for him, that's the kind of first we can hope to get. Too much, little bit too much, unless yeah, see, this one starts at like the T for skaters, but for picks it starts a little bit pushed over. So yeah, we could get Toronto's definitely. That would go through just like that. See if they've got any little prospects for us to snatch up. I wouldn't mind grabbing a winger to play on the other side of Bennett and Reinhardt. Matt Finn, defenseman. Holland, centerman. Biggs, right winger, but it's not the right winger we're looking for. So we'll see what else is out here. Ottawa, they want him. They got a first. As far as wingers go, I believe we did already check. We're not going to get Bobby Ryan. We don't want Hemsky. And none of these guys are doing it for me either. How good is Pemple? He's a four Red Stars. 4 Red Star sniper. You know what? Sure. That'll go through. What wing was Bennett on? He was left wing though too. I'd really prefer a right wing, so we're going to see if we can't find someone to fit that bill. Spencer Watson. 3.5 only though. Not really sold on that. Everyone else has a bit too much value, I think. Bunch of old guys. Philip Forsberg. He doesn't really progress. This fellow, not going to try to pronounce that. Not enough stars for me. McCarron. Mark McCarron, right? Michael. I should have looked at the stars when I had that open. 3.5. Not quite good enough. Charlie Coyle, I'll go back and look at him. 23 years old, 81 overall. 4.5 gold stars, but he's a power forward. I'd rather get a sniper or a playmaker on this first line. Here's a bunch, but a little bit too much trade value for Perreault to get us. For Bata, too old. We get Yurko. We could get Yurko. He is a sniper. I just don't ever really see him get good in this game. So we'll see if they have a first. They do. So we could get this trade going if I put one more asset on the block for these guys. Whitney. Too much cap hit, eh? Just by a bit. Scuderi, we can flip him. Oh, it's not a cap hit problem anymore. It's a player problem. There we go. So I could do this trade maybe. It would be Perreault for the first. Whitney for Yurko. No, there's no way this one goes through. Let's take a look at some more teams, and I'll wrap this video up right quick. I know it's getting pushing half an hour here soon, so. Ooh, Nichushkin. Valerie Nichushkin. He's only 4 stars in this game, though. Scherbak and Borkstrand both usually progress pretty solid, although that's a lot of trade value I don't think I'll be able to pull. None of these guys really have the oomph we're looking for in Colorado. Patrick Kane we're not going to be able to pull. Carolina. I wouldn't mind getting an Islander. Would not mind that at all. That's a really close. No, it's not as close as I thought it was. Riley Smith. 3.5 green. That's not bad. As well as this Seth Griffith guy. If I could fucking speak. He's a sniper. Yeah, he's a sniper. He's not a red name, but he's a sniper. Smith has a little bit less value to him, so it might make more sense for us to pull him out. Put him in. We'll see. What is he as a player, though? Sniper. Okay, that's good. So that would go through. Then it's Whitney. I know we're not going to be able to pull their first because they're having a horrible season. So maybe there's just their second. That would go through. Is that the best trade we can make, though? Probably not. So I'm going to take a look just one more time through these teams here. Pull their second, because we're not going to get their first. Edom and Smith-Pelly. Rackle. Ricard. Palmieri even, maybe. What are their potentials in this game? So these guys, ooh, Edom would be a really good, solid pickup for us. Sniper. He's just got a little bit too much value, I think. Yeah, we're not going to be able to pull him, unfortunately. Winnipeg, who do you have? Blomqvist. Just 3.5 stars, though. Kuznetsov. 4.5 red. Right winger. What is he, a playmaker? Yeah. So it's not the worst, but I'd rather get a sniper, I think, to sit next to two snipers, both on the wing for Reinhardt would be a thing of beauty. Tom Wilson, he's like a power forward yet. Vancouver, they got Jensen. 4 gold stars. Sniper, right winger. We could pull him. That would go through because he's not a red name. And then there's second. This could go through. We just need to pull one more somebody from them just to make the trade go through. Might as well pull Tom Sestito. I love that guy. That's still not enough. Why? It's a salary cap thing now. So maybe if we put on Booth instead. Okay, so it's going to be Booth instead. They now have still not much to play with for cap space, but I will have to put something else on just to make this trade go through. Ron Hainsey. There we go. So if we can put Ron Hainsey in with Whitney and Perreault, we should be able to net Jensen and Vancouver second, and that'll be the last trade of the deadline. It's either this one or Riley Smith and a second. And Jensen is 2 years younger. He's also 4 gold instead of 3.5 green. You know what? I'm going to go for Smith. Just because I don't like Boston. So I'd rather trade with the team I don't normally trade with. So yeah, he's 2 years older. He's also 8 overall points higher, and he's got the green stars. So we're going to try out Riley Smith on the team rather than what's his cock? Nick Jensen. Okay, here we go. See if this goes through. No. So maybe we don't go for this trade. I'll add Hainsey back in there. Smith for all skaters. Here we go. Perreault. Was it Whitney? It was Whitney. And we can go Brassard. See if they have any low value schmucks we can scoop up. Sorry, not meant to do that. Meant to do this. And then go over here and start ripping down. Karan, he's kind of old though. Troy Krug. Let's get a defenseman to go with the right winger. We don't need two right wingers in one trade. Alright, so hopefully this will go through. Actually might have made it harder there by adding Krug. Shit. That's okay. They don't want any of our picks. Do they want... Who do they want that has no trade value? And I'm okay with ditching. You. And... They're not going to want another D. Drew Miller we got to keep because of that salary. Chadler Rose. Watson because you don't have a contract, so you'll definitely go. Okay, we'll try this out, and if not, we'll just drop Krug and all the other bullshit. No, okay, it didn't work. It said we sent them too many players to fill one need. So if we try making that same trade without Watson and a different asset, it might go through, so I'm just going to try that really quick. Hang with me, guys. What was I fucking doing now? Alright. So we've given them one D and two centermen. We can give them another D with Hosh here. And now we want to give them some sort of forward. So Chadler Rose, Dana Tyrell, I'd rather hold on to because he can jump one more time. So yeah, Chadler Rose, you're in then. And we want to grab... Torrey Krug, Riley Smith, and a second round pick. Hopefully this goes through. If not, like I said, we'll drop Krug, we'll drop Hosh and LaRose, and just make that go through. Okay. We don't want to piss them off too bad. Smith, second. Perot, Broussard. Instead of Broussard, actually, we're going to do Hainsey. And, of course, Whitney. Where are you? Whitney. There you are. Alright, so this should go through. Nope. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. They lost their chance to trade with us. Fuck those guys. And they have 2 seconds, too. Yeah, okay, we're doing this. Fuck, you guys lost your chance to trade with us. Dicks. Fuck those guys. Where the fuck? There he is, Whitney. Alright. Perot. That should get us all these three easy. I would even say Whitney can get us Booth. Broussard can get us that second. So then it's Perot to get us this second and Jensen. Probably not going to go through. We'll have to add one more green name that we don't really mind ditching. How about Brisebois? And ooh, I don't want to give him too many defensemen. We'll just try this. Make sure this guy's not anything good. Okay, 2.5 red stars, definitely not. And do they want a third? I'll give them a third if they want it. Or any kind of depth pick. Not a second, sorry guys. Why do they want to trade their seconds and get a second from us? These crazy bastards. How about a fifth? Okay, let's hope this goes through. There we go. So fuck the Bruins. They didn't want to trade with us, so we got the trade done with the Canucks instead. Looks like Riley Smith is going to stay as a Bruin. But that's going to do it, boys. I'm just going to do this off camera. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please press like on the video. Definitely helps me out with exposure, as well as commenting on the video and subbing to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.